4 new launches in River Valley, all prime locations with prices easily above 2008 per square foot. But here's what most buyers don't realize. The price per square foot you see is not just market pricing, it's strategically engineered where some units have greater premiums priced in than others. In this video, I'll break down exactly how developers are structuring prices across River Green, Zyon Grand, Promenade Peak, and River Modern. And by the end of it, you'll know exactly where the potential sweet spots are for each project and start seeing opportunities that most buyers miss. Before diving into the individual projects, let's first understand the 3 common pricing strategies that developers use. There could be others, but this is what we have seen most prominently so far. Number 1. The per floor price increment. This is quite straightforward. Essentially, it's the higher the floor, the higher the PSF. So the real question is not whether there's a floor premium, it's how aggressively that premium is structured and whether it is worthwhile paying for. Number 2. Premium on views. So developers assign higher PSF to units with superior views. So view premiums are real, but how they are distributed across unit types is where strategy comes in, especially for condos like River Modern, where almost 70% of its units have river views. Last but not the least, premium on unit type. This one is the most misunderstood. Many buyers assume bigger units should be cheaper on a per square foot basis. But what if I told you that sometimes developers intentionally price bigger units at a higher PSF? Not because they cost more to build, but because they are deliberately managing the sales of their inventory and strategizing margins. Now let's apply these concepts to River Valley new launches. To illustrate the price increment per floor strategy, let's start by comparing River Green and Zyon Grand. So everyone wants to buy a high floor unit, but are you overpaying for it? So River Green was actually the first to be launched together with Promenade Peak. It is developed by Wing Tai. It features a 1 block of 36 stories comprising 564 units and is fully residential. It's a 1-minute walk away and fully sheltered to Great World MRT, which is connected to Great World City Mall. It's also the only project with a fully sheltered walkway to River Valley Primary School. Units are relatively compact, with the largest 4-bedder unit being 980 square foot. This is a high-efficiency, investor-friendly project for buyers who value location and affordability. And for Zyon Grand, it is developed by CDL and Mitsui Fudosan. It has 2 blocks of 62 stories with a total of 706 residential units and 1 block of service apartments. Its key selling point is that it's integrated with Havelock MRT and features an impressive commercial component that comes with F&B shops, supermarket and a childcare center. It is also within 1 km to River Valley Primary School. Because it is designed by a renowned architect, the facade is arguably the most unique amongst all the launches. This is positioned as a landmark high-density integrated development for buyers who value ultimate convenience. Now, let's take a look at the numbers. Using comparable 2-bed plus study units from both projects that have been transacted on booking day, we can calculate the percentage per floor jump for each development. So for Zyon Grand, it is starting from level 2 to level 62 residential units, while River Green is level 2 to level 36. So at Zyon Grand level 62, the highest per square foot is already transacting at 3,259 for now, and the lowest per square foot is 2,687. So per floor jump percentage total increase is 21%, which is approximately 0.35% per floor across 61 floors. For River Green, the highest floor that has been transacted on booking day was level 34, 3,591 per square foot, while the lowest per square foot on level 2 is 2,939. So there's a total increase of 22%, which is approximately 0.67% per floor across 33 floors. So that's almost double the percentage jump per floor for River Green compared to Zyon Grand. So what does this tell us? When a project is very tall, like Zyon Grand at 62 stories, the developer cannot load too much premium per floor. Otherwise, the top floor PSF will hit unrealistic PSF levels, and usually developers would have already had a certain highest PSF in mind. So what do? They compress the per floor jump, whereas in a mid-height project like River Green, the developer can afford to be more aggressive in the price increment per floor. So if you are buying a high floor unit at River Green, you are paying a much steeper incremental premium compared to Zyon Grand. That's not right or wrong, but it's just something to be aware of. So then how do I define a sweet spot? A sweet spot is essentially where you can buy the project's USPs while ensuring that you stay within the majority price range or even below if possible, so that you have a clear advantage over competing projects in the same area. So for River Green, the sweet spot is to buy something affordable to you with a layout that makes sense, yet not too high floor if you're looking for investment, because entry quantum matters. The sweet spot for Zyon Grand would then be to buy a higher floor and mid-size unit as the per floor jump is minimal. So at this time of filming, the remaining 2-bed plus study units only have an incremental jump of $4,000 per floor upwards. So by buying a high floor unit, you're also buying into one of the USPs of Zyon Grand, which is its height, yet your PSF is kept much lower compared to River Green. Next, premium on views. This strategy is very common for projects that have very good views. Take for example, Lentor Modern by Guacoland, which is the same developer for River Modern. So I compared the 3-bedroom units on the same floor, 990 square feet and 980 square feet. Both units transacted on the same booking day, 17th of September, back in 2022. Yet the unit with the landed views actually commanded a premium of 3%. So the landed views are actually facing towards Lentor Drive. These are 19 floor units for the 3-bedroom units, and the landed view facing actually commanded a premium of 3%. Similarly, the 2-bedders of the same size saw a greater premium. The landed view facing unit was 6.5% more expensive than a non-landed view facing unit. And these are 2-bedders of the same size that are transacted on the same day as well. Similarly, this can also be applied to units with and without west sun facing. Depending on whether you are looking for own stay or for investment, understanding this strategy will greatly help in your decision making, as you'll need to decide if the premium is worthwhile paying for the units that the developer has decided to price in a premium for views. So next, we have premium on unit type. This is a strategy that is starting to get more popular and recently seen in new launches from 2025 onwards. So we can see this in how the smaller units in Zyon Grand were priced against its bigger units. So at level 58, we can see that for 2-bed 1 bath, there was actually a unit transaction at 3,190 per square foot. And as the units go bigger, you will realize that the PSF also increased. So for the 4-bedders, you can see that the PSF has actually jumped to 3,508 per square foot. So what this means is that there was actually an increment of almost 10% for the premium on a unit type. This is a strategy that is starting to get more popular and recently seen in new launches from 2025 onwards. Look at River Modern's indicative prices. There is almost a 12% jump from the 2-bedroom smaller units at 2,877 per square foot to the 4-bedroom plus most premium unit and the biggest unit. It jumped to 3,212 per square foot. So that is almost a 12% price jump. That is not always the case for most projects, but for projects like Zyon Grand, Promenade Peak, and River Modern, it is deliberate. For Promenade Peak, the difference is even greater at 27% due to the way that developers have built the project, where bigger and more premium units like the 3 to 5-bedders on top from level 44 to level 46 were actually built on a higher floor compared to the Promenade Collection's level 2 to level 42, where the smaller units are located. So there was a price increment of 27%, from 2,006 per square foot to 3,003 per square foot. So this will actually affect the entry prices for buyers significantly compared to Zyon Grand, which has comparable units starting from level 2 to level 62. So if you're a buyer looking to buy a bigger unit in River Valley and want to know how this affects you, you may watch my video analysis for Zyon Grand compared to Promenade Peak in the description box down below. So why do some developers use this strategy? I will explain this in relation to River Modern. So sometimes developers can use a combination of strategies like loading premiums on unit type and views. So this can be seen in River Modern, the latest new launch in River Valley. So before I continue to explain, let's refresh our memory on the key USPs for River Modern. River Modern was actually developed by Guacoland, and it features 2 blocks of 36 stories comprising a total of 455 units. It's residential with first-story commercial, featuring 6 shops, and the location is actually quite similar to River Green, where it's doorstep to Great World MRT, yet still within walking distance to Great World City Mall. It is also within 1 km to River Valley Primary School. However, it is worthwhile to note that there are no 1-bedders here, only 2 to 4-bedders, unlike the other launches. So I feel that this project is known more for its modern luxury with Singapore river views, which will be suitable for buyers who actually value a home with views and practical layouts. But when 70% of the units have river views, how do you think the developer will price its units? Did they actually spread the premium evenly, or did they concentrate it on certain unit types? So let's take a look at the unit mix of River Modern. We can see that the bulk of the units are actually the 2 bedrooms and the 3-bedders, which actually form 85% of the development. While the 4-bedder units, you will notice there is only 15%, which makes it much rarer. So on top of that, the 4-bedder units are actually river-facing units over here, and the bigger 3-bedder units as well, while the smaller units are actually mostly non-river facing. So judging from how they have placed a huge premium on the 4-bedder units based on the higher per square foot we talked about earlier, The developer did not spread the river premium evenly across all units with river views. Instead, they concentrated the premiums on the rarest units, which are the 4 bedrooms. So this helped them to achieve two objectives. Number one, it helps to keep the per square foot or smaller units attractive to encourage sales volume, as the majority of the units are 2 to 3 bedrooms, while at the same time, the larger units drive margin and are usually sold to families for own stay. So most of the time, families are actually less sensitive to quantum pricing as long as they really like the project and see it as a place to live in the long term. That's why you actually see a start per square foot gap over here, where the 4-bedders units are actually starting from 3,212 per square foot onwards. So the question becomes, if most of the units have river views, are all river-facing units equally good value? Not necessarily. From the indicative prices, we can see that the developer has loaded heavy premiums onto the largest 4-bedroom units, starting from 3,212 per square foot, but priced some of their river-facing units, 2 to 3-bedroom units, from 3,000 per square foot onwards. So the sweet spot will be over here, which is in the middle of where the 30% is non-river facing and the other 70% is river facing, with this end being the most premium 4-bedroom units. So if you want to know the exact stacks that are shortlisted, please feel free to reach out. So why is a sweet spot not one of the 2 or 3 bedders that don't come with river views? It's because the river view is a key USP, so you want to be able to secure that while avoiding the heaviest premium on the bigger units, yet still buy within the majority pricing band, which is around here. I would say maybe 3,000 to 3,002 per square foot onwards. So across these River Valley launches, here's what I've uncovered. Price increment per floor varies according to the building's height for the River Valley launches, which has also affected their indicative starting form per square foot. View premiums are also not evenly distributed, and unit type pricing reflects strategic sales angles by developers, not construction costs. So by understanding how developers price their units, you might be able to find a sweet spot for a value buy in a project. If you'd like me to deep dive into a specific project comparison or run through some units that you're considering, please feel free to reach out. And thank you for watching my analysis.